Hello and welcome! Tonight on the show, we're going to be scaling the mountains. 3 mountain Sriracha sauce. Yellow Sriracha sauce. We are so excited to have you here tonight. Thank you for listening. This is Sauce Spoken.
And we're back. We are Sauce Spoken, and tonight we are 3 yellow-bellied cowards. Spice cowards, that is. We are the podcast detailing your favorite sauces, dips, and condiments. I'll be your host tonight. My name is Adam, and I'm joined here today with my co-host, Tori.
Hello, good afternoon. Yes, we're taking a look at a yellow sauce today. It should be very interesting. And someone who's very excited to record the podcast.
And very yellow as well.
He dressed the part. For those of you who can't see, and you will see it.
Check out the Instagram.
Yeah, but our friend E, he looks like Big Bird. Here he is doing a yellow sauce and a yellow shirt. Our friend and co-host.
Or if you would, Canary tonight.
Yeah, that would be quite fitting. I purposely wore my yellow shirt.
I love
Hello, everyone. It's
bright
great
yellow, dandelion yellow.
It literally matches the
yellow.
cap of the...
Your shirt is brighter than the cap.
You think?
I think so.
Right. Oh, yeah, maybe.
Slightly, yeah. Cap's a little bit darker.
I'm on the verge of being safety yellow here.
You are OSHA safe. You have been deemed safe.
Yes.
No one is ever going to lose you in that shirt ever again.
Unfortunately.
I love this shirt. I really do.
It's a nice shirt.
It's not bad for you.
I can brighten up a room. That's
I think
for
people
sure.
with our complexion, Eric, people who tend to be more red, like I know I can't pull off a red shirt. I mean, it does not go with my already naturally occurring bright red face. You know, I get very, yeah, that doesn't go well with my complexion. But you're pulling off the yellow shirt. I'll give you that. You look confident.
And bright greens, I can pull that off too, but sometimes I look a little too Christmassy with my red face.
Yeah. Fair point.
Yeah, you look very springy. You look like a daffodil.
I'm so pumped for spring. I mean, it's beautiful out there. The weather for our listeners. Hopefully, everyone has
for the day.
Yeah, one day here in Pittsburgh.
Change. Yeah.
It's been really nice, though.
That's the one thing. I don't know if we probably talked about this before, but everyone thinks that their weather is so quirky and unique. Everyone's like, only in New York do you get all 4 seasons in one day. And every single state and city says that. Have you ever noticed that? Everyone's always like, only in Montana do you get snow and 80 degrees. Yeah, well, it's very played out. I think we've mentioned that before on the podcast. I remember going on this rant.
I have heard that March is in like a lion or out like a lamb, or vice versa. But if it comes in snowy, it's going to come out very nice and pleasant. But if it switches, if it comes in nice, it's going to be really nasty on the way out.
I don't know. I think that's kind of like the Groundhog's Day thing. I don't know if there's actually any real validity to that. I think it's just one of those things they do for funsies.
I don't know, man.
I have to admit, the nice days we've been having, I've been thinking it's going to be a really wet spring. As nice as it started.
Probably. We had we had snow late last year. I'm glad we're getting back to our roots with the weather discussing. We haven't really gone in depth on the weather lately. And, anthropologists in thousands of years from now are really going to be curious how the planet dried out. So this is going to be valuable to them, I think.
For sure. Since we're on goofy, Farmer's Almanac type stuff. Yeah, how about the ice days in May? I'm not sure if there's 5 or 3, but there's another one floating out there that's a like March lion lamb thing.
What is this?
But it's the ice days in May. It's either 3 or 5 ice days in May, but there's always, a handful of freezing cold days in the month of May, and the rest is, your typical May pleasant.
Okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, hitting you with all these.
I do like perusing through the Farmer's Almanac. My mom always gets me one of them every year because she knows I like to plant a garden, and I usually skim through them quickly, and that's about all. They're kind of like, that kitschy
I think they're neat
pseudoscience. I think they're interesting. There's some interesting stuff in there, definitely. And I know people have had great success following their recommendations, so maybe there's something to it. Could just be anecdotal, small sample size. But that being said, Eric, how was your week this week?
It's been good. But I also took a nap today, so I'm up to nap number 6.
6.
Yeah.
Hey, it's still countable on 2 hands.
On 2 hands, so and not too bad. It's March.
Hey, I'll say you're a third of the way through the year now. As surprising as that sounds, saying it out loud.
Right.
So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. So it's been good. I've been doing a lot of researching, a little more internet stuff, with some board game research, a little more, download some more free models off of My Mini Factory for 3D printing, which I still have
the only kind of
yet
model
to really get to. Only kind of model I can get.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Slamming him, jumping right in. Tori always hates it when I'm mean to Eric, but I like it.
Well,
and so do the listeners, if they know what's good for them.
Generally, I don't even disagree with you because it sounds pretty right.
Yeah, no, you're the most self-deprecating person that I've ever met, as we've discussed before. Your own worst enemy we've said many a times outside of the podcast. You be get down on yourself a little bit too much. We would never let someone else treat you like you treat yourself. I think we've said that before. Except for me. I'm the exception to everyone.
Except for my close friends who tell me exactly how it truly is. That's right.
Well, we're doing it from a place of love, not from a place of,
That's right.
So,
but no, yeah, it's been good. Over the weekend, we still had this wonderful, beautiful weather, and
it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
So I was working.
Won't you be mine?
I was working at Home Depot and helping a whole lot of customers with their gardens and spring things. They're just spring's definitely in the air, and I can really feel it here in Pittsburgh. And it's been a good week.
The soccer mom's starting to come out in bikinis yet? Not
a little
quite.
bit. I'll tell you what. Oh
very
boy!
nice.
Just today, I was just right before this recording here. I was at the Shop and Save, and this girl walked in with I guess
itty bitty way sitting around thing in your face. You got sprung.
I guess it would be considered a bikini runner short, I suppose.
What?
But basically,
what are you talking about?
have you ever seen the girls cross country team? Doing
just a short
sports?
short.
But no, it's like the spandex that look just like a bikini bottom.
Volleyball shorts?
I can use my imagination.
I'm not sure.
No
a
more.
bikini bottom?
Yeah, they're like full bikini bottom.
For running?
Yeah.
I imagine you would chafe the shit out of your thighs, right?
Ooh.
That's what I would think.
I would imagine, but
I need something.
Yeah,
breaking
she walked into
the
the store like that, and I was thinking that seems somewhat inappropriate. But
I mean,
go for it. Hey, she had the body to pull it off. So
that's hey, rock it. Officially, for the record, as listeners know, we are a podcast that respects women.
That's right.
Despite Eric's lewd comments. Tori, did you go lech over anyone at Home Depot, or did you do something else this week? What did you have going on?
Oh, well, I had the remainder of my birthday weekend.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so I know I had
still your birthday month.
Well, no, I'm relegated to just a weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, that's old news by now. But went out to Belisario's restaurant. It was a really nice restaurant. Yeah, with my wife and my parents, and had a really nice one. And that was about the extent of it. I got some bird seed.
Nice.
For my birthday. So
you got some bird feeders as well, right?
I did. Yeah. I got a new regular seed feeder and about 60 pounds worth of bird seed.
Cool.
Yeah. So, pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's, you know what? When you get, I know I'm terrifyingly close, so I can count myself. But when you get into your 30s, that's really all you can hope for out of a birthday. I mean, you get some enjoyment. You get to watch the fucking birdies. That's good enough. Yeah,
it's good for, I like it. My cat likes it, and it works out.
On the subject.
Does it remind you of that mustard we had? Your bird seed.
Oh, yeah. Kind of combining those two topics.
Bird seed was better.
As far as sauces we've tried and your birthday, it's time for a little sauce spoken rewind.
Sauce spoken.
Sauce.
Yep. Because we actually have to do a little bit of a. One thing we did as a group for your birthday, Tori, on Friday night, actually a day after your birthday, we went out to a hibachi restaurant, Ichiban specifically, and it was my first time ever having hibachi, as was my girlfriend's ever. She didn't have the hibachi dinner; she had some sushi, but my first time ever having hibachi, and I know you guys have both been there before, but we got to try, live from the authentic bottle, the yum yum sauce that they served there.
It was excellent, was it not?
I thought it was quite good, and you know what? It definitely supported my kind of theories on its purpose, which is kind of like as a supporting actor rather than the star of the show, like I had said. Because I noticed, and honestly, I really don't think anything they cooked needed sauce at all, because it was all phenomenally and very well seasoned. Especially like Tori, I think you and I both got you got the scallops and I got the steak.
I did.
Yeah. I noticed with my steak had a lot of heavy kind of like salt, pepper, and butter, and a lot of like garlic to it. So it had a lot of flavor on its own, and then, just a little dip of that Yum Yum sauce was really nice. And it didn't overpower anything.
I would say so. Yeah, and I'm right there with you. Of course, I had the scallops. I know I mentioned it on the show that I prefer that sauce on seafood just as it is.
Yeah.
And, it knocked it out of the park. The chef fella, of course, knocked it out of the park, and the scallops were terrific, and the sauce was a perfect complement.
Absolutely.
Not the star of the show, much to your point.
Now, if I remember correctly, that was not the only sauce of the night, though.
No, and I did try some of the sushi in the Yum Yum sauces as well, Tori, and I think you're spot on about that. Like you said, Eric, before, you can't overdo it. But, no, you also right. There was also a ginger-type dressing sauce that was also pretty good. I think I used all of that one because I poured that over my fried rice at the end. And that was also nice, too, because it kind of provided a little bit of a more citrusy contrast from the, savory of the rice. So, it was quite good.
I don't care for that one as much.
I thought they were both pretty good. I liked them both. I thought they were both quite good. I don't think it would be as good for seafood, though. I think it was better on more like a steak, maybe a chicken or something
Probably
like
chicken, yeah. Would be
Yeah. Okay.
that. Yeah, I wouldn't see that being good on a scallop. Definitely the Yum Yum's the way to go for the scallop, I think.
I didn't get either of these sauces. I also had opted for the sushi when I was there.
Yeah, you went cheap. You were. We have mentioned this before. You like to, before we go out to a fancy dinner, you like to pre-eat dinner so that you can cheap out at whenever we go to the fancy restaurant. You don't like to live in the moment. You like to blow your money on board games and Kickstarters and then say, I only have $8 to spend on hibachi.
That's not entirely true, right?
That's
I like
mostly
to eat out.
The
I
last,
really do.
3 birthdays we've gone out to, that is exactly what you have done. You're like, I'm going to just have the appetizer.
That was the running joke, though, even at the restaurant, as we all said, oh, boy, our birthday dinners have really gotten quite expensive this past round.
Well, I mean, that's like, if you're going to justify going out to an expensive dinner, when are you going to do it? Really, you can't go for Christmas. You're usually doing family stuff for big holidays.
Right.
And when else are you going to go, bro?
We've been cooped up, man.
As I mentioned, that's the perk of being in your 30s. Your life is passing by at a never-before-seen speed, and you're getting presents like bird feeders for your birthday. But on the other hand, you can afford to treat yourself to some expensive dinners. So, trade-offs.
Yeah.
That's what you have to look forward to, kids. Once you get past 21, that's like the last good milestone. After that, it's just you can buy yourself hibachi.
Hey, man, I've never been 35 before, so I'll give it a spin, and I'll trade it in a year. We'll see what happens.
Very good.
That's a good way to look at it, for sure.
There you go. Speaking
of giving things a spin, we previously tried some Sriracha sauce. We've tried a Sriracha ketchup and... Was that it, Eric? Did we try any other Sriracha-based sauces?
Oh, we talked.
Ketchup.
Yeah, we talked in depth about just the regular Sriracha sauce that has the iconic green cap and the rooster on it, but we never actually tried it on the show.
Yeah, and we really didn't try. Like you said, we never tried the original one. But this week, despite that, I mean, that's everyone already kind of knows, what that one tastes like. I feel like that's almost a little bit too basic. Everyone has had Sriracha at this point. It's kind of like we could review ketchup too. Literally every human has had ketchup. Every human on the planet has had ketchup, and I'm willing to stand by that.
Yeah,
every human. Fair. So it's kind of pointless for us to do it. So we went a little bit of a different direction for this week, and you want to go ahead and lead us off with what we're looking at this week here, Eric?
I'd be happy to. We have yellow Sriracha chili sauce, and this is by Three Mountains brand, which is, we said it was distributed out of Eastland Food Corp,
right.
Distributed here to the U.S. through, where is it, New Jersey or something?
Yeah, Maryland.
Oh, Maryland.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a difficult time with this because I was trying to find a website. I never was able to find a website, and this seems to be a product of Thailand. And then it's imported and then distributed, and it's distributed by this Eastland Corp or whatever, but Three Mountains doesn't appear to have their own independent website. And I wasn't able to find distinct information about this from Eastland, so we kind of we managed to find some stuff online talking about the sauce, but nothing from the manufacturer. So we're going to be a little bit shy on the usual manufacturer supplemental reading this week.
It's certainly kind of reminiscent of, I would say, the typical... cock sauce, as a lot of my friends like to call it.
Of course,
the rooster sauce.
That sounds right. Cock sauce. Oh, they like to say bad words.
In this day and age, it's surprising that there's no website, that they don't have any footprints.
I was really trying hard. I went,
true.
it's the kind of the famous joke that nothing is farther removed from visibility and humanity than the second page of Google. But I think I went 4 or 5 pages deep into Google trying to find any information on this, like an official website. And
That's surprising to me.
It doesn't exist. It seems to be like Amazon, has their own thing for it, but that was the first 3 links that came up were all Amazon. Like Amazon, hey, in case you missed it, Amazon, and then listen, fucker, we know you on Amazon. Those were the first 3 links. So
yeah, Amazon's quite the place for sauces. I've started a whole new
wish
list on
world.
Amazon. Just for sauces, because there's
You're getting a lot of me
quite
singing
a lot there.
in this episode.
Yeah.
This is actually why I started the podcast to debut my America's Got Talent. Is American Idol still a thing?
Dude, I have
You're
Still
asking
on
the
the air?
wrong guys.
Well, I think it did transition because all the judges went to America's Got Talent, right?
Dude,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But in any case, you guys can consider this my tryout.
But I was starting to say about this is sort of reminiscent of the original Sriracha sauce. It looks runnier
Yeah,
for
it's
sure,
thin.
but I think the classic clear bottle with the whole.
It's a smaller bottle, though. I think that normally they come in a little bigger bottle, right?
Right, that's true. This is a smaller one, but it has the multi-language screen printed right through a transparent bottle.
It's a busy logo with all
Very
the
much.
languages. There's one language that we thought maybe was something written upside down originally, and I don't know if that's Thai, but it didn't make more sense to me as an English reader upside down than it did right side up. So I'm not sure what that is.
Fully agree. We'll have to let our listeners clue us in. They're looking at
Someone
the
will tell us on
Instagram.
Instagram. I mean, it
That's
probably
right.
is just 3 mountains or something like that in, whatever they...
Oh, yeah, like Thailand or something.
That's what I have to guess, but I have no idea. I'm just... As usual, we've said before, we are woefully ignorant here, but well-intentioned. So... that being said, Tori, do you want to give us a little breakdown of what we're looking at here, bottle-wise? Go a little more in-depth on the outside there than Eric was going?
Yeah, sure thing. Right off the bat, I thought this sauce sort of looks like the yellow sauce that you get from a Chinese restaurant, but thinner, like the mustard.
Oh.
Like just in the color, not so obviously not in the consistency. This is
I see
watery
what
as
you
heck.
mean.
It's oranger, though.
It is mustardy colored. Yeah, I think it's a little bit darker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But
darker.
you can definitely get some, especially like the homemade ones. I think they're a little bit darker color like that.
I've also seen people who get that yellow mustard and they squeeze it out and then they pour soy sauce and actually
That's
mix
fucking
it
gross. No.
into a consistency
No.
color that looks like
No, that's forbidden. I'm telling you right now, that's fucking disgusting. You guys can.
I've
keep
never
that
done it.
whack-ass
I've never
shit.
done it. I've just seen other people do it and I think that's
Well, people do the same
Gross.
thing with wasabi at Chinese restaurants for sushi, and it's the same thing. They'll put the ginger on the sushi, and I am not some cultured, well-traveled, multicultural Renaissance man by any stretch of the imagination, but I have had enough sushi to know that that's supposed to be like a palate cleanser
cleanser in between.
courses. It's not supposed to be a topping for the sushi, and that's kind of like nullifying it. That's so that's kind of stupid. But people will mix the wasabi and soy sauce, which is borderline acceptable. I still think it's whack.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've even tried it once. I prefer to just take a little bit of wasabi and put it onto
Yes.
my piece of sushi and
Yes.
then eat it. I think
I think that's normal. I
it
think
gives the best flavor as it hits the roof of my tongue or roof of my mouth and, really just explodes that horseradishy kind of spice
right.
zing through it all. And then you have the wonderful flavors of the sushi behind it. So
I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but most wasabi that you get in America is just a finely ground horseradish. It's kind of a faux, because I guess wasabi, the nature of it is that it doesn't last long in its fresh form. So unless you're getting it like locally prepared, it's probably not actual wasabi. I think there are some places that will serve legitimate wasabi, but I guess it has a much milder flavor, a more like complex, milder flavor than. So if you get something that has a lot of bite to it, it's probably horseradish that's dyed green.
Right. I was surprised actually at the Japanese hibachi grill we went to. It was flavorful and it wasn't too astringent or bitey. It was a very good wasabi.
That may have
I
been
enjoyed
legitimate.
it.
I don't know. I mean, I think their distribution networks are getting better now, so probably more places are likely to have it, especially with the more mainstream adoption of sushi in the American market, I would have to imagine.
True, but I definitely think if you go to like your grocery store and pick up sushi, I think it's still horseradish.
Oh, well, absolutely. No, it is. I think the thing about it is, I could be totally wrong about this, but I'm going to take a hard stance, is that wasabi is a tropical plant, and it has a really hard time growing in certain atmospheres, and it thrives kind of like bamboo, kind of thrives out in that general more tropical atmosphere.
A dank, damp
I
atmosphere.
think so, yeah, like warm and humid, I think, more like rainforesty. But like I said, also, I think it starts to, like as you are familiar, Tori, with your horseradish, I think it starts to oxidize quickly and lose its flavor.
Yes.
And I think it's harder to preserve that in the wasabi than it is in the horseradish.
I'll be damned.
The horseradish, you just add like the white vinegar, right? Is that what you do, Tori?
Yeah.
Okay. And that arrests the oxidation process.
That is correct.
Cool. So, you have anything else on the outside of the label there for us, Tori?
I like the bottle shape. It looks like a very large vape juice bottle.
Very good. Yeah, interesting. Because it does have the spout top to reload
it has the unicorn. That's what they call that in the vape biz. Because we're cats. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty interesting, pretty wild.
Unicorns and dragons. This podcast is always the fantasy centric podcast.
Yeah, we are some space cadets, that's for sure.
You mentioned that the label was busy. I'm inclined to agree, but it's also very simple at the same time.
It doesn't hurt my eyes or anything. I think it's fine.
Yeah,
it's dense.
Yeah, it's dense. It's all one color, so it's not like it's some kaleidoscope of colors. It's that navy.
It's a navy blue.
Yeah, well, it looks like navy, but yeah, I don't know. It's
I think it's a clever choice because it's on that like orangey yellow background.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's a good design. I mean, it is busy, but I think that, like you said, the monochromatic, aesthetic there is definitely suited to that. Instead of having like a white label with 20 different colors on it or something like that, they're definitely doing themselves a favor with the packaging.
Yeah. The sauce tends to have that pureed cling to the side that we talk about. It has those, I don't know what you would call it, maybe like a shingle, I don't know, for lack of a better term, but how it gets...
Shingle?
It sort of gets pureed in a sense, and it sort of breaks apart.
It's got like that fine sediment in it.
Yeah, sediment, almost like a stringy graininess that kind of clings.
Have you guys ever seen like an inside of a pumpkin that got pureed? I think this is kind of like the same color and texture as that, almost, like just runnier.
And way spicier. Pumpkin is not a spicy vegetable.
No. Okay, thank you. For the listeners that don't know, pumpkin's not spicy. Jesus Christ, we're adding a lot of
now it sounds really
value.
Interesting, though. What if someone could start like cross-breeding to make a pumpkin spicy?
You could, but why the fuck would you? No one's eating the pumpkins anyways.
Heck yeah, pumpkins are delicious.
Actually, what that could be good for would be like Halloween, and you get the critters start coming eating your pumpkins off your porch. If you had something that was spicy, maybe they'd leave that shit alone.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, I'm back on board with you now. Okay.
A spicy pumpkin. Heard it here first.
That being said, I do think that, we're jumping a little bit ahead here into the texture, but like you mentioned, I think the original Sriracha is also similar in that it's got kind of that not pureed, but not finely like strained sauce. So it's got like a little bit of like chewy clumpiness to it, which,
no, that's true for sure. It's like,
yeah. Well, it's like a fruit matter almost, like there's definitely like microscopic chunks in it,
Yeah, I would say almost like the garlic maybe or onion kind of like pureed sort of leaves a little bit of a mouthiness, a little bit, like you said, there are clumps
Mouthy.
to it. I know, we love our mouth sounds. Our mouth, what was it?
Mouth dreams.
Dreams.
Why don't you go ahead and...
We gotta play that at some point. I need to put a link on that.
Put it in the show notes. Yeah, go ahead and put it in the show notes for this episode. If you guys want to check that out, we'll throw it on the show notes here for this episode for you. With all that, Eric, go ahead and, we're already kind of really getting into it, so go ahead and lead us off into your initial tasting notes.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off with the way it smelled, as we always like to do, which...
Gave it the sniff test. I gave it the sniff test as well. Didn't care for it.
Yeah, it was like... Smelled kind of astringenty and gingery and maybe a hint of... I mean, obviously there's certainly Sriracha in there too. A complex smell, I'll say that. And then the flavor we tried this on a chicken nugget. My initial thoughts were, well, one, definitely spicy. A good amount of spice. Very, very front and forward spicy. And then the afternotes were definitely, just the way I'm saying it smelled, definitely citrus notes and ginger. I said it had definitely this weird pulpiness to it, which is we were already talking about the way it looked in the bottle. But I think on my actual palate, it was even more pronounced and questionable. It wasn't exactly a good kind of feel to it, but it grew on me. At first I was like, I don't know about this. But then I had a second piece of chicken nuggets, and then I had a spoonful and just kind of...
You did have several chicken nuggets, right?
Only 2 dipped.
Oh, okay.
into the sauce. The rest of it was just eaten right off a spoon. And,
He was hungry.
The rest will not go to waste, that's for sure.
Of course not. Not in my house. Food does not get wasted.
We are looking to bring on here in future episodes. We're looking to stray away a little bit from the chicken nuggets. We've been stuck in a little bit of a rut. For a little bit of history for the listeners, originally when we first started this up, we got a few different tasting articles to try these sauces on. And what was that look for, Tori?
Tasting articles. I love
what do you call them? I mean, they're just,
I don't know.
tasting
Foods.
vehicles. I mean, they're not really, we're not eating them for the sustenance. We're eating them to be transported as a sauce, I guess.
Oh, right. Yeah, I just really appreciate it.
We had pretzels.
Tasting
and we had
articles. Yeah, we had some chips, we had some pretzels, and you would heat seal the bags for us so they would stay fresh. And I think they still are.
Bags.
Yeah, they're still heat sealed, probably still tucked away in my...
Horrendous, but
Still stale.
Yeah, still. Well, I mean, but the only thing that really has held out this so far was the endless bag of nuggets, similar to the bag of holding from Dungeons and Dragons, which Eric is well familiar with.
As everyone should be.
Yeah, the 25 pounds of nuggets in the 3-pound bag, and that's lasted us for better, about half a year now, so that's pretty good, and
Wow.
we finally had to buy our second bag of nuggets. But we are looking to branch out into some more versatile articles,
Nice.
if you would, for tasting. And we'll just tease that for now. We'll let you guys, we'll leave that till later.
I can finish my thoughts on this sauce.
I can finish my thoughts.
Thoughts on a sauce, my man. Let me
Thoughts
hear
on the
those.
sauce.
You're done
Let me
when
hear
I say
those
you're
sauce
done.
thoughts.
I also just said that I think it would be really good in like a Thai dish. I could definitely see this in a, mixed with some vegetables and like a noodle, like a I don't want to say pad Thai, but rice noodles and veggies. That kind of, I could definitely see that sauce, this sauce being pretty good in that. Back to the smell though, it almost, I keeps taking some sniffs while you're teasing our listeners there with our foods to come.
Articles.
Foods to come by.
It almost is almost chemical.
Totally
It almost
shaking his head.
had like a cleaner. Like I said, when I said it smelled astringent, it was almost like a scrubbing bubbles smell gone
Scrubbing
slightly
bubbles.
wrong,
Scrubbing
so
bubbles. Wow.
so it's not
It kind of
exactly
had the
a good
scrubbing
smell.
bubbles texture too. Since we're going there,
Like the soft scrub, maybe a little bit. All right, well, I know what my thoughts are probably going to be the most enjoyed, and then it's probably going to go downhill from here. So,
probably going to go downhill.
Tori, you
Meaning
wanna...
that you enjoyed it most, not that people enjoyed listening to you most.
Yes.
You piece of shit.
Yes, yeah, that's for sure.
I certainly hope that's what you fucking meant.
Wow.
Piece of dog shit.
Wow.
All right, Tori,
People like hearing about scrubbing bubbles.
No, I'm sure people are going to be quite turned off by
Working up
that
an
analogy.
appetizer.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You guys ready for me?
please.
Okay. I didn't care for it. Whoa, shocker of the century. I know. Yeah, I didn't really like it at all. But I did get some fruitiness like you guys were talking about. I did get the fruitiness. Certainly got the astringency. I didn't get any horseradish, anything like that. Of course not. I wish I put vape juice in a bottle of that
You would
size.
have drank the vape juice.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But in terms of what's inside it now, save it for the commode.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what I would put it on. I don't think it would work on chicken wings. I couldn't put it on a sandwich. It's too thin for a sandwich. I don't know what I would put it on.
Yeah, that'd be whack on a sandwich, I think.
Yeah.
You have to have a very specific sandwich.
Yeah, very specific is right. And it's not like thin sauces can't work on sandwiches. I mean, there's Italians. That's an oil. I mean, that's thin as hell. But
I think it's debatable that it really works on a sandwich. But I don't know, people
it's
love their
traditional.
Italian subs.
I mean, it's
but
oil and vinegar on a sandwich. I mean, that's like classic. I mean, it is a little messy. You're definitely making a mess, but it is,
that's why I don't like it.
that's
tradition.
That's right. Yes, I don't know what I would use it on, if anything. I mean, that's a type of thing just doesn't really appeal to me. Sorry, I know I probably upset a bunch of people with, because I know a lot of people go gaga over sriracha, but that certainly isn't me.
You don't think you could see this maybe in even like shrimp? Maybe? Coat
man.
some shrimp in it?
I think there's other...
Better things.
Yeah, there's 100 other things that I would go for. I mean, as far as shrimp
Yeah.
is concerned, I just go butter and garlic and be done.
Yeah. I'm going to hit Tori right up with a hashtag me too, because I am
Oh,
right
boy.
on board with you there. And we've said this before. I am not a fan of Sriracha, and this one did not break the mold. To me, I didn't actually notice that much difference from traditional Sriracha. There's some key ingredient, which we touched on last time we did Sriracha, that I just find unpleasant. I liked the heat level. I know, Eric, you had said this was kind of too hot for you. You were violently swishing water around in your mouth
I drank 3 glasses of water after having a very small amount of sauce. That's
we had mentioned. Sure. And we'll have to do that for the listeners for a little ASMR, some mouth swishing, and we'll make that bonus content so they can hear how you sound.
Oh, pay big money for that.
We'll release the unedited episode so you guys can hear the mouth swishing. But
and all the clicks and breathing.
Right, yeah. But no,
I know you have a file just saved where you're just loading it all up with all my stuff.
I do have a file, but it's not as nearly as extensive as you would think, because I only saved the ones that are particularly interesting. I think probably half of them are me being obnoxious. I'll probably save all the singing ones from this episode, and we'll put together the soft-spoken musical for next Christmas or something. But no, I dipped the nugget first, and I tried that, and all I was getting was that whatever that ingredient I don't like is, which I'm really not good at narrowing that down. Normally I can isolate it to what I don't like, and I think it's something about the chili pepper that I don't care for.
I think
My sniff test was off. I did not like the smell. I did detect some of the citrusy notes and the garlic, and I definitely tasted both of those too. And like I said, the heat was, I thought, quite tolerable and manageable. Actually, the heat I thought was quite pleasant. And I got a lot of that flavor I didn't like on the nugget.
Mind you, you just burned the shit out of your mouth before this, like a few days ago.
Yeah, I did. Well, let me finish my, there's a local chain around here, Chicken, CHIKN, and I am a person who likes hot seasonings, but I will tell you, be forewarned if you go ahead and get the too damn hot, because I was able to manage 2 chicken nuggets, and I regretted it for the rest of that night, and as we had mentioned before on the podcast, the next day when it was blasting out the other side. So, getting back to our sauces, though, hopefully no one, I've mentioned this before, hopefully no one's eating while we're talking about this. We got blasting ass, and then we got fucking scrubbing bubbles. This is quite the ensemble for a meal. But no, I actually like the sauce better on the toothpick when I tried it just plain on its own. I actually got, for whatever reason, I wasn't picking up on as much on that flavor that I don't like, and I was getting more of the, kind of like the bouquet of a little bit of that vinegariness, the sweetness, and also the citrusy, primarily orange, I think, if I had to put a finger on it. And definitely the garlic, as we had mentioned before, and the heat. And I actually thought it was quite pleasant on a toothpick, but like I said, having tasted it on the chicken nugget and being that whack, I think I would have to have this blended into something else, like we had mentioned, maybe a curry or something like that, rather than on, like Tori mentioned, like definitely not a sandwich, that's for damn sure, but chicken or seafood, something like that. Hard pass. Even a burger or something like that, hard pass.
Yeah, I wouldn't put this on a burger. I do wonder though. I think as I'm trying to envision what to do with the sauce or how I would prepare this, I'd be tempted to marinate some chicken in it and then throw it on a hot griddle and just let it sit there until it gets a nice char on it.
No, this is the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing you did with the Lee Kum Kee sauce, which we all fucking hated. Yeah, you salvaged it slightly, but which also brings me to another point here too, because this Eastland distributors or whatever, they're the same fucks that distribute that Lee Kum Kee shit, and this is markedly better than that, but they seem to have this, they have cornered the market on grit in their sauce. I will say that, because this sauce is chewy as hell too. It's not nearly as bad as the sand-like texture of the Lee Kum Kee, but it's still not it's still remarkably, like you had said earlier, Eric, mouthy. So I don't know what their thing is with that, but that seems to be their monopoly. That's their shtick or something.
Yeah. So far of the 2 sauces we tried, it's batting 100 in the thick and odd texture kind of category, but we're not even
kind
thick,
of like us, thick and odd.
Yeah.
This was another. I will mention this was another sauce that my girlfriend got on her trip to the local Chinese market when she also bought the Lee Kum Kee sauce and another sauce to be mentioned at a later time.
Yeah, man, I thought this sauce was just straight up goofy, just weird. I didn't like it. In my fevered imagination, if I were to put a pin as to what this tastes like, if there was a haunted house that had a garden in its backyard and you ate a hot pepper out of that garden, that's what it tastes like.
I think it is something that tastes like rotten. Like anytime I taste Sriracha, that is how I imagine that botulism would taste. That is pretty much what comes to my mind. Like if you had bad canned goods or something.
Okay.
That's what my mind's mouth eyes. That's what I would picture, I guess.
I love it. Thank you. My mind's mouth.
Mind's eyes mouth.
I love that.
Mind's eye mouth. Mind's eyes mouth? Yeah, mind's eyes mouth is what I should say there. That's what I would picture.
It's interesting. I think we're going to be getting a lot of flack probably from our listeners because
people love Sriracha.
Yeah, they do.
People go nuts.
People go fucking bonkers for that, especially like I had said before. I tend to be a sucker for those hipster demographic things. I mean, I am solidly in that category, and I don't know, the Sriracha craze just doesn't do it for me. I know we talked about that last time for our last Sriracha ketchup episode, Eric. And I think you were kind of negative on that one as well.
I was, but the sauce grew on me as I said.
Yeah, you used the whole fucking bottle.
I did, and just like a week ago, I'd taken a knife and cut down the side of the bottle to make sure every last
Christ's
drop.
sake.
I mean, that's how much I was like.
Jesus,
I really did enjoy it.
I would buy you another fucking bottle. It was like $3.
Did you make Sriracha soup that night? Did you put some hot water in it and make soup out of it?
You had to swish it around
I wasn't desperate for a meal.
Out.
I wasn't desperate for a poor man's meal there.
Oh.
Probably throw it in your fucking freezer in case you need it later. We were discussing earlier. Eric has items in his freezer from the prehistoric era. He has a fucking brontosaurus steak in his in his freezer because his parents gave it to him, and he's too polite to throw out a piece of meat. It's been in there for 3 years now.
I'm sure it's fine.
Transmogrified 100% into freezer burn. So
it is ice crystalline. Now, it has been crystallized.
Yes, it was a solid block of freezer burn, and he's still going to heat that shit up and have it for breakfast one of these days.
Go back to the idea of hot sauces, though, and actually, I'll tie into
my mom and dad are going to listen
freezer.
to this episode, and they're going to be angry.
No, I don't think they'll listen to it.
They don't. They still don't know you're making a podcast. That's part of the reason you won't tell them about it. What's this I hear about? No, don't listen to it, Mom and Dad.
You didn't even give them a sticker. What the heck?
You want your parents to think that your friends respect you and treat you with courtesy. That's you're maintaining this illusion. Did your sister listen to the episode that she was featured in the other day?
She didn't say anything about being called a lot lizard, so I imagine she probably hasn't listened to it.
I think you should really encourage her. Tell her that she features prominently in that. I still think you should bring her out so I can at least meet her. I think that would be fun.
She's a nice gal.
Yeah, next time she's in Pittsburgh, I know she's would love to come out here and see some friends and be back in the Pittsburgh area. She's just, the whole pandemic hit her pretty hard, so she's got to focus on
working a lot.
Working her bar job there. She's got really good friends. Which is
Alvin
nice
named John for some reason.
John. Oh, Jesus.
I'm just kidding. I'm sure she's a nice girl. She's going to be predisposed to fucking hate me by the time she meets me, but that's okay.
Now I'm trying to remember now. Did I talk about last episode about getting the Christmas present to her best friend here in Pittsburgh?
No.
Okay.
I don't recall that. I probably just wasn't paying attention to you.
No, I think it was over the weekend. I think it was maybe Friday night or Saturday. I think it was maybe Saturday night. I had plans north of the city. I live south of the city. A lot of Pittsburghers, the rivers are giant walls. You can't cross them.
Sacred.
Yeah.
Sacred waters. Much like the Nazgul from Lord of the Rings.
That's right.
Man.
You ever seen that, Tori? I know you're not a movie fan, especially not a 4-hour-long movie. 12 hours of movies.
I've seen all of those Lord of the Rings movies just one time.
Probably not even the extended edition.
Nah, dude.
No,
you're missing out, man.
The extended edition.
That's okay. You still know what the ring wraiths are, though.
I do. What kind of bad guys are
the hooded things?
The
hooded creatures.
Screaming.
Yes.
Oh, the screamy guys.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That was really good, Adam.
Isn't the one whole movie just them two dudes walking around?
I think that's kind of like all three of the movies. That is definitely the books. I will tell you that. Having read the books multiple times, it is mainly.
You read them multiple times.
Oh, absolutely.
You're a beast.
And there's someone has edited online. I heard that there's one point in the movies where Samwise Gamgee, the one secondary lead character, he's in the one I don't know, Farmer McReady or whatever, his garden, and he takes a step and he says, "If I take one step farther, I'll be the farthest I've ever been from home." And someone went and took that clip and edited it into every time Sam takes a step in the movies. So every time he takes a step closer to the mountain, he says, "One step farther." That's the farthest I've ever been from home. And turns a 4-hour movie into like, you know, a 26-hour movie, but still pretty funny.
This just
That
proves
kind
that
of shit
people
really
have too
tickles
much.
me.
People have too much time on their hands somehow. Some people.
We'll have to see if we can link to that in the show notes. I don't know if we can find that or not, but that tickles me. So,
But here at the beginning of spring, I managed to finally deliver the Christmas present that had been sitting by my front door since Christmas to my sister's best friend here in Pittsburgh. So it was nice to catch up with her. I met her.
what was it?
It was a bunch of Japanese food that all
Was expired.
It was all prominently featuring Hello Kitty, which is something that her and her friend like. So
She a weeaboo.
we had Hello Kitty sushi and Hello Kitty
Hello, cootie.
Pocky, and
What's Pocky?
you never had Pocky? It's
Even I've had Pocky, dude.
What is it?
frosting and like breadsticks, basically, like little hard breadsticks.
Yeah.
Maybe I have had that then. I just didn't remember the name.
Remember those the Dunkin' sticks with the little thing of Nutella or peanut butter on the other side?
Absolutely.
They're like, they're
Okay.
like
Okay.
sweet.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
I've definitely had those before then.
But it was crazy because I hadn't seen her name's Mila, and I hadn't seen her for over 2 years because she's got a 2-year-old kid now. So I met her son, and
That was the last time you saw her. She was recently impregnated. I'm
Well,
trying
it
to
was
insinuate that you
before.
were the father.
No, oh,
Duh. E.
oh, right over my head.
Yeah, whatever.
That's-
The listeners know that didn't fucking happen.
I know that didn't happen. Myself.
girl!
Anyways.
Oh.
But no, yeah, it was really cool to catch up with her, and I was really glad to get that Christmas present out of my house. And I think that was my big accomplishment for the day. Was I went north of the city and delivered a Christmas present.
That was today?
No, it was last weekend. It was over. I think it was Saturday.
Cool. Well, we all have big things going on in our lives. I guess.
Yeah, I was supposed to go out and listen to some jazz music and meet up with some friends, and the venue was closed, and we ended up just going to
Smoke some
Tesaro's.
jazz cigarettes.
Actually, we ended up going to Tesaro's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
One of the place that is called the best burger joint in Pittsburgh. Is
That's
what people
right.
say. That's pretty good. I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean,
Yeah, not that. I
they
wouldn't
don't
say
have any
best.
unlimited French fries like Red Robin does, which I know our boy other Adam, as we refer to him, he is. Well, actually, the one time that we went there where we were going to go to Red Robin. You talked him into going there, and they didn't have French fries, and he was livid.
He was quite disappointed, to say the least.
I was disappointed too. I do love the bottomless French fries and the campfire mayo sauce.
But we got a hot, they're like hot barbecue sauce. And that was really interesting because it was like almost like the spicy chili sauce that's kind of like sweet, but then mixed with a barbecue. So it had like these like pepper flakes, but it was also like a darker, more homogenized sauce. It was actually pretty good.
I do think it would be fun for us to start trying to do some live episodes for the YouTubes, and we could do various restaurant sauces maybe and do a little bit of a deep dive on those live and in person. That might be kind of fun.
That'd
I know
be cool.
we toyed with some of that notion before, just to tease the listeners a little bit. We were kind of waiting for the pandemic to die down, so maybe we didn't have to wear masks outside, so you could clearly see our beautiful faces because they're worth seeing. But maybe that's something we could do too. Go to a restaurant and. Because I know we had mentioned a couple restaurants like Red Robin, trying some of their sauces because they've got a whole smorgasbord of tasty sauces.
Which we also recently did. We went to Red Robin a couple weeks ago and we tried their...
We go there several times a year. I mean, that's a standby.
but we tried that new sauce that we never tried before.
Oh, yeah. The
What was
waitress
their-
recommended
We
that
talked
sauce.
about this, didn't we?
No, I don't
Not
think
on
we
the
did.
podcast, I don't think.
What the heck was it? It was a honey mustard?
No, it was like a honey...
Oh.
yeah, it was like almost like a poppy seed.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
But it had like poppy seeds in it, but it was like a sweet mustard, honey mustard poppy seed or something. It was like a cross between a honey mustard and a poppy seed dressing.
Yeah. It
pretty
was
good.
very interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. Which reminds me as well, did we mention there's a little bit of sweetness in this sriracha sauce as well?
We did.
I definitely think oranges, especially with the color that they have going on there, I definitely think oranges are a prominent ingredient.
So I jumped a little bit ahead there about 5 minutes ago,
Of
and
course you
I
fucking
read the ingredients. So
You
I
pre-read them to
pre-read
make
them.
sure you could pronounce all of them.
that's right.
That's valid, though. That's
That's fair.
totally okay.
I'll give them that.
Yeah.
I'm allowing that.
It's not like I did research
I'm
hours
not that
before.
rigid.
Hours before.
You probably did. You know better than to say it in front of me.
I didn't even.
knew this all on my own.
What's there to reresearch? They don't have a website.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good point.
Are we ready for the
Please,
ingredients? Are you
regale us.
intrigued? Are you intrigued? So obviously there's yellow chili, sugar, garlic, vinegar, coconut sugar, and salt.
That's it?
That's it?
That is it.
Wow.
Well, where are they getting the fucking citrus from?
I have no idea.
Let me see this for a second.
Maybe we're just all buffoons.
I think it's interesting that the coconut, like, obviously the coconut must be what's giving it flavor, maybe, or like the sweetness,
There's
but
got to be some other stuff in this. I mean, I am not buying that. I mean, I'll be straight up. I think that is a lie.
Whoa.
I'm taking a hard stance.
Heavy.
I'm calling them out. I think, and that's partly part of the thing about whenever you get these little small outfits, I start getting a little doubtful, especially when you can't find a website for the sauce.
That is so weird.
Yeah,
In 2021, that's bizarre.
I'm calling your ass out. I think there is straight up more ingredients in this. If you guys would like to reach out to us, I won't spoil the surprise. Again, I will sign the NDA if I have to. Reach out to me. Tell me what the fuck is actually in this.
His curiosity
and I'll at least
is killing him.
tell the listeners that there are more ingredients that you're not willing to share. Or it's possible that it might be one of those things where it's just a small enough percentage. Like maybe there's orange oil in this and it's just such a small percentage they don't have to list it. It could be something like that.
it's crazy because it has such citrus notes. How do you get citrus out of
There's clearly some sort of citrus in this.
garlic, peppers, and coconut? Like,
I would say from the flavor profile alone, either there's one of two possibilities. Either A, this has fucking orange in it, or B, they are goddamn wizards. Because there is no way that you can make this shit taste that much like orange without having any form of citrus in it whatsoever. Like, I could see if they had said, oh, there's lemon, or there's lime, or there's, grapefruit, or pomelo, or some weird-ass shit like that. But to straight up tell me there is no citrus in this is a goddamn lie.
Yeah.
I have to agree. It does seem strange.
Yeah,
I read
that's
the ingredients and I
bullshit.
thought,
Blood
that's-
orange, key lime. We would have
I'm
accepted
actually
anything.
fucking mad. You guys, they have an ethical duty to reach out to me at this point and
Wow.
explain themselves.
Heavy. You're throwing haymakers out here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I'm calling these guys out. I think it might just be a front. They clearly they don't even put a website up. I mean, we have a website, for Christ's sakes. What does that tell you? I mean, we have a website and these jokers don't. I mean, and they're putting this shit out into the world.
Right.
So, so are we for that perspective. But I mean, this stuff is something you can physically hold in your hand.
But we have a website.
You can only hold us in your hand if you drive out to Pittsburgh. So, and even then, we'd be quite the handful.
Yeah, right.
That'd be wrong and creepy. Yeah, or could be. I don't know.
No.
Anyways.
So with
you
all
would
that-
welcome it with open arms. Who are
Yeah, you
kidding?
would.
Give
so
him a
if-
squeeze
with all-
anytime.
I have a quick
Yeah,
question for you.
You're the
Adam,
most
about the
holdable
sauce.
of us all, I will say. Okay, what's your question?
As listeners know, you travel to my nerd palace to do this recording,
Yes.
and I was just wondering, does this sauce settle any? Does it separate? Did it have any separating properties to it?
I shake them. I do usually shake them up beforehand. I didn't notice any visible separation when I took it out of the cupboard. It had been sitting for probably a month or two.
Okay, so we're just gonna say no.
Yeah, a month and a half maybe. They're like not that long, but I didn't notice any visible separation.
It is so runny. I just wondered if there wasn't like all that like pulpy
No, there's
weird
nothing.
settlement settles down.
You saw there's nothing in the bottom.
Yeah, that's
there.
what I just did a
Right.
quick check off to the side.
I think even the regular sriracha is kind of like this. It's kind of that pulpy, runny texture.
Sticks more. It's more like ketchup. I mean,
maybe slightly, but not like dramatically.
it's not as runny as this. That's for sure.
He's not.
I'm pretty sure.
It's not as running.
He's taking a hard stance on it. And with that being said, let's take a hard stance on your rating for the sauce there, young man.
TG, go for it.
Eric's panicking.
Oh, I thought you were the young man. Okay.
Well, he was the young man.
I
but
certainly will
apparently
go
he's-
for it. Well, okay.
yeah, he's
I'll
passing the torch.
I will supersede Mr. Sun over here.
Fortunate son.
the big yellow. Well, okay, yeah. So obviously I didn't care for it. Who didn't see that coming?
Right.
Sriracha is not my thing. It's not our thing. I don't think the pepper grown in the haunted house's backyard is particularly a compliment. I didn't care for it at all. I would take ketchup hand over fist in a blackout, upside down, backwards over this. This is a 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
No, didn't like it.
I'm going to be a little bit more generous than that just because I did like it on the toothpick. I do agree I would like ketchup better. So I think that being said, I'm going to roll right in with a 4. I could definitely see this being good if you mix it in with something, like we mentioned, maybe a curry. But I think at that point, primarily what you're getting out of it is the heat rather than the flavor. And you can get heat from a variety of places. I think this is just heat that tends to go well with a lot of like Asian type dishes. So I don't know. I see it having a purpose there, I guess, serving a purpose. But yeah, for me personally, a 4 is where it's going to end up.
And obviously I'm going to be the kindest of us all here, but
What a fucking
I
martyr.
think if a chef was to, take this sauce and put it into the right dish, if he had the right knowledge,
stuff.
right, to combine the correct ingredients and use it the way it was maybe intended to be used in its
You're saying
native
it's not intended
Thailand.
for chicken nuggets? They don't eat it on chicken nuggets in Thailand?
No, not intended for chicken nuggets. I don't think it's I think there is a lot of complexity and flavor there. You're saying, I don't think
I didn't say
chef,
that.
I don't think a chef can take a bottle of ketchup and add it to a dish and go, I've added vinegar and tomato.
No, there is complexity to the flavor. I'm saying I didn't like it.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I would add it to a dish to get rid of those things I didn't like and just keep the heat.
And just keep the heat. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying it didn't have those things. I'm saying I would never want these flavors to be the preeminent flavors in a dish.
No, I think the citrus notes and the heat and the overall complexity of it is worthy of at least slightly more than ketchup. I'm going to give it a 5.5.
Okay, that's pretty fair. I really thought you were going to go super high just to spite me. I thought you were going to go like a 9.5 or something like that.
Wow.
I can be spiteful to you anytime I want.
I think that's fair. I mean, I don't think I'm that far off from before. Tori was. I mean, this has nothing to appeal to Tori. Like I said, at least I like the heat.
I think Tori likes the cap and the way the cap matched my shirt.
Yeah, I thought that was clever, and I didn't know if you planned that or not. I'm delighted that you did.
My favorite part of the sauce was the bottle design, followed thereby by the heat, and then a pretty distant third from that would be the flavor, the rest of the flavor.
When you say bottle design, you mean the plastic or you mean the imaging on the front?
Well, all of the above. I like the yellow lid like that. It's a very well-designed squeeze bottle. Like, it does pour easily out the squeeze bottle, which is important to me that you don't have to make a giant mess when you use a sauce. I don't like it. You know how when even a ketchup lid, when it clasps back over and splatters ketchup all over the inside, or this to me seems like, and even if you did get a little spillage out the top, you could just rinse it under the sink and it would be sealed still while you're doing that. You don't risk any intrusion of water. I do like the navy blue with the contrast of the yellow. I think that's pretty good. I mean, that's competent design work there. And the bottle is that hard plastic, almost glass-like in appearance, but squeezable. So, and like I said, I find that all to be remarkably competent. So I'll give them some real kudos and I think this is a good size. I don't know if we mentioned the exact size. It's 10 ounces. But I think that's a good size for, intended usage. You're not using a boatload of this at once. So I actually think bottle design is very competent. I would give them, probably give them a 7.5 or an 8 for bottle design.
Unreal. I find that very surprising. I think that bottle is as boring as it gets.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think I don't think it's that exciting, but I think there's some subtlety there, and I think it's, like I said, I'm seeing a lot of some thought went into that, where if I see a mass-produced Kraft Heinz bottle or something like that, it's kind of like we mentioned, the whole cupboard appeal, and I definitely see this having some of that, and not because it's flashy or anything. It's not like that Rothschild dirty martini jar we had that was, obviously they stepped it up a notch.
All of its faceted edges and gold on the lid and everything. Yeah.
But I think this is, exceedingly competent. Definitely better than the average. Definitely better than a Heinz ketchup bottle design. If we're calling bottle design 5, for Heinz ketchup a 5, I would think that's fair to give that a 7.5.
No, I totally agree.
It's no 10. It's no 10 by any means, but
I totally agree with them. They really missed the mark on putting the entire ingredient list on there. What the heck? How are they getting these flavors?
Yeah, call them out.
You have been called out.
We're taking 2 hard stances. Would you care to take a hard stance on that, Tori, as well? You want to throw your weight behind that?
Sure, yeah. For what it's worth? Yeah, what the hell?
Like I said, we'll sign the NDAs. We'll do whatever we have to. I'm not going to read the ingredients out loud on air. All I want to know is, A, is this some kind of a shell company that they're using for money laundering? And is that why we can't find a website for it? 2, are there more ingredients that you haven't listed? Even if it's just some citrus oil or something like that, doesn't meet the absolute, listing requirements for nutritional information. I just want to know, what's giving it the citrus flavor. If that is truly the pepper, color me, I don't know, color me something. That's for damn sure. Color me surprised, if nothing else, I guess, because I've never had a pepper like that. Maybe a bell pepper sometimes have a little bit of a sweetness to them, but if so, where are they getting the spice from,
Right. It says first ingredients, yellow chili. Maybe it's just yellow. Maybe yellow. I don't know. Maybe the cross. Back to my earlier crossing a pumpkin with something spicy. Maybe they crossed a chili pepper with a citrus.
If I knew that they had crafted some unique hybrid pepper for this, I would give it more points because that is some work they did. I don't think that's the case. I don't think normal Sriracha has this like sweetness and citrusy notes to it.
No, none that I remember.
If you manage to grow a pepper that encapsulates all that, I mean, kudos to you. I would definitely use that pepper for something. I just don't know that this pureed form of it is what I would want. But yeah, I mean, if they're doing some kind of, genetic modification or engineering on the peppers, then, well, I tip my hat to you. So
that would be pretty wild. I don't know. Total.
Reach out to us.
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards they're slipping in some citrus oil or something like that, and it's not being listed. I'm still calling them out hard stance. So, well, cool. Well, I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up for us this week on this Three Mountains Yellow Sriracha Chili Sauce. A little bit of a, I don't know. We haven't had, and this is starting to a little bit weird. I don't think have we had any Asian sauces that we liked yet.
No,
Terry Ho's. Yum yum.
Yeah, well, okay, all right, okay. Very fair, very fair. I think you could make the argument that's much more American than it is.
Totally is. It's totally
but
American.
It's okay. I mean, I'd lump that in. That's, marketed as a Japanese, whatever, steakhouse type
outside
sauce.
Of that, I don't think so, no.
So, yeah, I don't think we have. I have the third one that my girlfriend picked up. I think that we'll like better, and we might be doing that as a little bit of a, well, I'll tell Eric after the podcast what the plan is for that, but we might be tasting that one outside of... Normally we taste these sauces at the night that we are doing the podcast, the night that we're doing the recording. We might be trying this one on a different night. So if that's the case, we'll have to take some notes and do it that way. Maybe we'll try some again later that night, later when we record as a reminder. But...
we did that with one other. Actually, oddly enough, we did that with the
Sriracha
ketchup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
We did. We tried it. We had some at a game night, and then we tried some later. And that was kind of what I had in mind for this other sauce that...
it's the only sauce we've ever done that with.
Yeah, we did discuss doing that just so we had kind of more time to think about it. And I think in theory it worked out really well. In practice, though, we ended up drinking a lot, and then I think we didn't really remember a whole lot of the notes that we... We didn't write anything down.
That was 4th of July or Memorial Day or something. I thought it was an occasion.
Yeah, it was an occasion. It was right. Nice out and
because
bonfire.
The whole clan was there. So, yeah, that's interesting. So, but I think that this the third one the girlfriend got. I think we may give that a shot. Kirsten, she's previously been on the show. We can call her out by name. Yeah. So that being said, Eric, I've noticed I say that's being said a lot. I don't know if that probably bothers the listeners. They probably roll their eyes every time I say that. But that being said, Eric,
wow,
would you like to lead us off?
Hammer that home.
Lead us off with some of your closing thoughts.
Oh, just as we were saying there about springtime, getting together with friends. The bright yellow sun is making its appearance again for us northeast.
Here comes the sun, da, da, da.
And Adam and his wonderful singing.
This is a singing episode, so I gotta get as many. I missed a few earlier that I could have jumped in on, but that's okay.
So yeah, super excited to keep doing podcasts, maybe do some stuff outside, make some videos, and just enjoy the wonderful springtime that is upon us. I hope we can all do that. So,
yeah,
Tori, take it away with a real professional like you are.
You wouldn't mind elaborating on those making videos you mentioned, would you?
I think he was talking about. Yeah, I saw your eyeballs going crazy. I think he was talking about if we do like a live podcast episode,
or the whole YouTube like shopping and whatnot. We did mention. I'm not exactly really that excited for it. I'm trying to psych myself up for it. I want
people to see me.
I don't. No,
wear that yellow shirt. People can't miss you.
He's popping.
Maybe I'll be blinding them so badly that they can't see me.
By the light.
That's right.
Wow.
I got all kinds of songs. I am, as we mentioned, I don't know if we mentioned this on the podcast, but I listen to record levels of music every year on Spotify. Like anytime I am at work, I'm constantly pumping the Spotify. We always have a little informal group competition to see who's listened to the most minutes of Spotify. And I think I've got it down to the point where I think I did the math and my Spotify is billed monthly, and I think that my per hour cost is in the range of 6 cents per hour listen. So I think that's money well worth it. Well spent. Yeah. Gets me through my work day.
$6 or 6 cents. Yeah, you can't beat it.
I know it is in the 6 figures of minutes per year.
Wow.
The only thing
Music's
6 figures about my life.
I got yelled at today for listening to my music, so.
I don't know.
Did you ever listen to the No One You've Heard of?
I tried, actually. I was going to have it playing while you guys
It's a
came in
blank
here.
CD.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know.
Are you serious?
I don't know what's going on, because I popped into my PS4, which I know nothing really about,
Okay.
so that might be the first step. My PS4 said incompatible disc, but then I noticed the thing that said media player, so I was like, okay, well, I hit media player, and it said I need to download it. So, okay, I downloaded it. So then I went back to media player, and I opened it, and it says...
Unreadable disc.
Well, no, it brought up like all these chapters, and I hit
Okay.
enter on the chapter, and then it said, yeah, not supported. I was
Huh.
like, okay, so maybe it's, I don't know. I have to
Maybe we'll
dive
pop it in my
deeper.
computer after this.
Yeah, you fired it into a computer?
That's what I was going to try and do, but my computer's upstairs.
I got my
and you
computer
guys-
right here. We'll try it afterwards. We'll see
okay.
if it plays. We'll see if it plays. We'll give it a shot.
Hmm.
I don't have any.
That'd be pretty hilarious.
I don't know if I've
it's an
ever
empty
actually-
or corrupted
Right.
CD.
That's why it was free. Well, I mean, it's been around since, what'd you say, 1998?
1997.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Tori, did you wrap up your thoughts? You
Mm,
didn't
he didn't
start
even
yet,
get to
did
start.
you? Yeah.
No.
Eric rudely interrupted you. It wasn't me for once. I like to make a note of that.
Wow.
First time, podcast first. Don't point your finger at me, Eric. I'm
Who's
calling it was
pointing?
you. I'm rewriting history.
Right? I don't think that was me that interrupted you, but all right,
blah,
maybe
blah,
it
blah,
was.
blah, blah. Anyways, Tori.
Anywho. Well, today we talked about 3 Mountain sauce, right? And albeit it wasn't very good, it still stood strong, very much like a fill in the blank.
Mouse.
Mountain.
Moose.
Mountain.
Oh, okay.
Mountain.
Oh,
Well,
right.
we did, yeah. Nice
We
try.
are 3 mountains of men.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So,
Is that where you're going with that? Mountains of men?
well, no, not quite in that direction, but hey, be brave and stand tall, much like one of the 3 mountains of the sauces we talked about today. So, of course, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
That's going to do it for us this week, guys. As Tori mentioned, thanks for listening. We always really appreciate that. And stay tuned. We'll catch you next week.
Oh, bad news is we're at the end of the show here, but hey, the good news is that we have several other episodes that keep you entertained. And while you're at it, send us an email, saucespoken@gmail.com. If you've had enough of listening to us and like to see us, you can do that too. You can stop over on our Instagram page. It's Sauce Spoken Official. If you wish to get down into the nitty-gritty, we welcome you to do so, and you could probably do that on the website. That's going to be saucespoken.wordpress.com. We have some show notes there. We keep track of the various ratings we give them over the episodes there, so if you wish to dig into the details, that's a great place to do it. In the event some unthinkable calamity, your favorite listening provider is not available, you can fire us up on YouTube. And of course, we'll be out here rattling our empty mayonnaise and mustard jars. If you'd like to donate to us, you certainly can. We are at PayPal at Sauce Spoken. We'll give you a little jingle jangle, maybe a wink and a smile on your way out. Keep in mind, we have stickers available for you. Slap them any which where you like, but they're available to you. If you'd like one, let us know. We'd be happy to send you one. And finally, we have a proprietary cryptocurrency out here. It's what's called Sauce Stoken. We have some details on it on the website. As we close here today, of course, we're going to ask you, please share us with a family member, share us with a friend. Hey, if you're enjoying it, I'm certain they would too. If you could, follow us, give us a rating or a review on that listening platform of your choice. Thank you for listening, and this is Sauce Spoken.